Hey everybody, it's Missy Wolf and I am here with Henry Paul of Blackhawk. How are you?
I am goody gumdrops today. How about you?
Oh, it could qualify as a Monday today, but no, it's all good. Thank you so much, by the way, for taking the time to make this interview happen today. I know yesterday was a little bit challenging, so the fact that you were able to do this today means a lot to me. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I want to know about your music and what you got going on right now. I know you were in upstate New York yesterday, right?
I was today. I'm in Cincinnati. Uh, I have kind of an unusual situation. I had a popular band when I was younger called the Outlaws. It was a Southern rock band, and Blackhawk is still a very active performing band out on the road. So I have a singular band, but one night we are the Outlaws and the next night we are Blackhawk. So tonight is the Outlaws, tomorrow is Blackhawk, the next day is Blackhawk, and last night was the Outlaws. So it's kind of a
Wow.
identity crisis in motion out here.
That's fun though. I'm sure it's fun for the fans.
Well, it's fun for us too, because we haven't done an Outlaw show in quite a while. Last night was like just fresh and exciting, and we had a good time doing that. But the Outlaws released a new album in 2020, a new studio record, preceded by a double live album in 2017 and another studio album in 2012. Blackhawk released a Christmas album in 2017, and then we released a double live acoustic record, Best of Blackhawk, in 2019, and
Right.
then we have this new studio album that's just been released for Blackhawk here a month and a half ago, maybe.
And how's that going for you? How's that release been?
Good. I mean, the critics loved it, and we of course love it just because it's a rewarding proposition to bring our partner back, who's passed away now 20 plus years ago, and to be able to put new music out with he and I and Dave singing together. So there's a poignant quality to the record, a personal one that's rewarding, but the songs are great, the performance is great, and people that are sort of predisposed to love the band just absolutely love the album.
Absolutely. And honestly, your fans that have been your fans since the beginning, I know that they love what you guys are doing to keep Van, a part of the band and his memory alive. And his cause, you guys have a charitable, fund for him. It's the Van Stevenson Memorial Cancer Fund, correct?
Yes. Yes. And we made a promise to band that we'd keep the band going and that we would do what we could to find a cure for cancer. And we've lived up to those promises.
Yeah.
We've raised over $400,000, and the beneficiary is the Vanderbilt Cancer Research Lab. So ironically, they specialize in research for melanoma, which was the type of cancer that got them. So we're kind of like at peace with ourselves with regard to what we've been able to do.
Well, and I'm glad that you guys were able to have that conversation and those last few meaningful moments together, and that you've been able to, follow through on that, because I know that that's so meaningful for his family, and I'm sure that just makes him super proud knowing that you guys, cared enough to follow through, and it's really special for fans to see that as well.
Well, and I mean, personally, it's a human by human thing, and we are direct beneficiaries of our effort. I mean, it's different when you're younger and you're striving to be the guy that or the person that you want to be. But when you finally come to the place where you become the person you are, it gives you a chance to sort of focus your efforts in different directions. And that's kind of like how I got into the idea of doing this charity, was trying to keep in the back of my mind my conversation with Ann. And also it's a job. It's a very get up every day and bust your behind to get it done job. And so there's an old saying, if you want something done, ask a busy guy, so that's me.
There you go. Now, and you guys all, I mean, your backgrounds were all different, and you all are so good at what you do that when you joined forces together, I feel like you guys created a really unique sound. And I read that you guys felt that it was harder to get yourself on the radio, kind of like the Dixie Chicks and a few others. Do you feel that that was the best thing you could have done? Because I feel like your sound and your guys' backgrounds coming together the way that it did, I just feel like that was such a good combination. And I mean, I've loved your music since day one. I think it was like 1992, 1993, maybe when I first heard you.
Mhm.
And I just fell in love with you guys. Your sound is amazing. And so are you happy with the choices that you guys made early on?
Yes. I mean, throughout the whole sort of chronological order of popular music, there's always been commercially successful artists that whose bait doesn't go too deep, and then there's people who really engage you on a more, you know, artistic level that you know. I think people seek their own level musically. For if it's not important to them, they take whatever they get. But if they love it, they dig until they get to where they want to be. And music lovers and even non-country music fans, love Blackhawk just because of the kind of life topics and the relationship topics and the pop sensibility. I mean, our criteria is judged by Dan Fogelberg or Don Henley. I mean, we don't line ourselves up to compete with other people.
Right. Well, and honestly, I mean, I see so many artists that try to fit themselves into a box because they think that's what they have to do to be accepted in the industry. And so when I see others that don't do that and they just want to be themselves and do their own thing, and it's like a box then has to be created for them, I just feel like the fans respect that a lot more. They just don't want another cookie cutter sound. They don't want that. Just like cookie cutter interviews, they don't want the same questions asked over and over and over. So I think it's a really good idea for people to be true to themselves and just say, hey, I'm going to do what I want and what fits our sound, and go forward with it. And I'm glad you guys did.
Well, it goes. There's two points of sort of direction here. One, the famous quote by Tom Petty that country music is a bad rock band with a fiddle. And then there is, your own recollection of who your fans are and your own appreciation of their ability to discern between good and average. When you look into their eyes in the middle of a song and sing, you know that they're engaging you on your level, and they're out there. There's plenty of, listen, it mirrors all walks of life. Politics,
Yeah.
your politics might be genuine and very kind and very, nurturing and forgiving. And then there's those that are very harsh and very brutal and very dark. And so you have to just sort of remain true to the light that guides you artistically and as a person. And we never bent over too far to pick up the dime on that one.
I love that. Is there a specific song that you have performed that you just absolutely love, or that you just like? I know for John Cougar, he can't stand performing Jack and Diane. Like, it's one of his, like, he can't stand it, but the fans love it. Do you have any songs like that that you just absolutely love, or you would really prefer not to do?
No, and if I had any advice for John, I would tell him to shut his yapper and sing the song that he had big success with. People that do that are very self-indulgent, in my opinion. People come to see you because they love that song. They
Yeah.
love Goodbye Says It All. They love Every Once in a While. They love I Sure Can Smell the Rain, and that's just about right. And they get them every night because we're appreciative of the fact that we have those songs to sing, and they're ours. We never sing anyone else's songs. I see a lot of quote unquote country bands out there singing a lot of other people's music. And I wonder to myself, why would they do that? And I think the reason is because they don't have anything good enough in their musical repertoire to kind of get the job done. I mean, otherwise, why would you, if you're a recording artist and you have an obligation to put your own personality out there and your own life message, but there's people, it's kind of like The Voice or American Idol and all that caca. I mean, it's just transparent and it's propped up and it's a dead end.
I agree. And whenever we do writers rounds or we go, somewhere in Nashville and there's an artist performing and they ask, do you want to hear, a cover? Do you want to hear an original? I always say original because you want to know what they can do, not what someone else has already done. You want to hear what they can do and what they're capable of. And I think, be proud of what you can do and what you can write. I mean, being a songwriter is a talent.
Well, and the music business is like any walk of life. There's pretenders. There's people that want to be rich and famous, and there's people that want to be artists. And John Mellencamp, even though he doesn't want to sing Jack and Diane because he's a brat, is still an incredible artist in my opinion.
Yeah,
he created something really special. And those are the kinds of people you have to hold yourself up against. You can't. If you just take some path that you think is going to get you somewhere,
yeah.
It never does. You have to choose the path that takes you where exactly it is you want to go. Otherwise, you don't have anything to say, or you don't have a vision of where you want to be or what you want to do or what you want to mean as an artist, then there's names I could mention that you would become, and it would be,
Sure.
Sort of a chewing gum ad.
Right. Now, and I think it's funny you said that. There's a lot of names I could say too that you see a lot in this industry. And I think what fans don't realize is just like in the regular corporate world, there's good and bad everywhere you go. And here in the music industry, man, I've seen a lot. I've heard a lot of horror stories from independent artists, and I'm just like, I'm glad I'm on this side of it. I don't know how you as an artist have been able to do this that many years, deal with so many different people in the industry, because I know it's not easy. I know that there's been a lot of rejection for a lot of people, and the fact that you guys can just keep going and going and going, it speaks volumes to me. I don't have a thick enough skin to do what you do at all.
Well, you have to walk into the wind at times, and sometimes it's at your back, but the whole thing from the standpoint of longevity is predicated on vision, and you see yourself, and you don't. I've known people that said, well, I think I'll take a year off. What? A year off from what? Like a year off from doing what you do? But what are you going to do? Are you going to go to the Caribbean and lay in the sun for 12 months and then come back and expect people to give a dang? It goes away in a hurry. So we have stayed out there.
Yeah.
We have really healthy relationships with the people that book the band and pay the bills, and we understand our place, and we are appreciative, and they know that we are in it for the right reasons. That's why we continue to go on and on and on, because people like us and respect us for the way that we go about doing our job, and we are still enthusiastic. You have to have the energy, has to come from somewhere.
Yes.
And if gifted with a bit of a bit of energy that you can, even in my early, now working towards mid 70s, you have to, put on your tight pants and get out there and get it done. And it's challenging at times, but it's very rewarding.
Absolutely. And you'd never know, by the way, you said mid 70s, and I'm just thinking there's no way, because the energy that you have and everything, that you'd never know. Like you do not seem mid 70s.
Some people give up early. They've been beaten down, and there's not a reward at the end of the day, and they just say, screw it, I'm going to have, the peach cobbler and watch the news. And, we just try and keep, our dukes up, because, we enjoy the fight.
Now, is it hard for you being away from home so much though? I mean, you're on the road doing all these shows. Like, are there moments where you're just like, man, I'd like to go home for a night?
Absolutely. I mean, I married a young lady who is considerably younger than myself, and she wanted children. And so now I have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old at home,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
she's stays at home with them, and we live out in the country. And there's many, many times where we would love to have more time together. But having done this for my entire adult life, I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of came with the territory. You didn't marry Henry and expect him to open a shoe store.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm just playing in the dirt out there, having some fun, coming home when I can. Thank goodness these days we have FaceTime on our phones, and you can see the kids, and
Yeah. That's
you're
good.
just not being there with them all the time. But then again, you have your life's work and you're really
Yep.
committed to it. So it's the best of both.
Now, so being a dad of some young kids, that's pretty awesome. Do you ever get to bring them to a show with you?
Oh my goodness, my 6-year-old, he's in the band. He's got a backstage pass. He's got a guitar. He's got a hat. He's got black jeans.
Oh my gosh.
He comes out there, and of course he's adorable. I wish I had a picture to show you, but he's just a beautiful little boy. And you understandably and predictably, he comes out on stage and everybody just goes, ah,
Yeah, absolutely.
just love him. And he's so serious about it and adorable. And he's tapping his foot and he's looking at his dad and he's playing. And my youngest son from my first marriage is going to be the beneficiary of my musical brands with the Outlaws and Blackhawk. And he's a great singer, and his name is Henry Paul. And
Yeah.
I know him and love him. He's been out there with me for 20 years, going on 25 years. And he's just a sweetheart of a guy, and he's a great talent. And little Henry's going to keep it going. And it's a family tradition.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I can't imagine for your 6-year-old what it is like going out there with you. I'm sure he's so proud of you, but he gets so excited with everybody, and just with your other son as well. I mean, that's really fun that you've been able to involve them, since day one. And I think that's fantastic. And anyone else in the band, like, does Dave have kids that have been able to be a part of the band as well?
Well, no, he has 2 boys, and they've gone different ways. You're drinking coffee, and that's not fair.
I'm sorry.
I would love a cup.
If you were here, I would make you one.
Thanks. No, but his kids went a different way, and I think that in my case, because so much of what we do kind of emanates from what I do, that my son understood the artistic issue and gravitated towards that. In other words, my father was a farmer. My grandfather was a farmer. My father worked for his dad, very faithful.
Wow.
And inherited the farm, and just, Henry's like that with me. He's a very faithful son. He works very hard out there and watches my back, brings me my guitar, tunes it, and really runs the show. He and our road manager, Doug, run the show out here. And everybody in the bus loves Hank. He's just 6'5".
Oh my gosh.
Huge. And he's funny and smart, and just everybody loves the guy, and he's going to do really well at this. He's just going to have to wait a couple more years till I'm done.
Right. Oh, well, that's fantastic. And I love that you put it into that analogy, like, your father took over your grandfather's farm, and he's going to take this over from you. And how did you separate yourself from the farm though? That's interesting. Like, why didn't you carry on the farm?
Well, there was part of me that loved it, but my mother told my dad to stick it and put us in a car and drove to Florida. We left New York State when I was in the 3rd grade, and things between them wasn't working. And once that split became real, then I was sort of separated from all of what that was. I used to go up there summers and work, but my dad remarried and his wife was, you know, kind of looking after her children. And I just, luckily I had a career but I loved our farm. I miss it. And I have an emotional connection to that.
No, see, and I'm sorry for laughing. I didn't realize that it was that kind of split. I thought she was just done with the farm life and wanted to go to the beach, because that's me.
Right.
Like, I'm here in the country and I'm like all the time, honey, take me to the beach. So I'm so sorry for laughing. I didn't realize it was that kind of split.
Well, no, it was a breakdown in the marriage, but listen, my mother wanted to go to the beach too. She was a Liz Taylor knockoff, and she was quite a commodity. She still is. I mean, my mother's 95 years old and she's kicking ass, and
That's awesome.
she lives in Florida with my two sisters. And, I had to move to Nashville because my work took me there. But
Yeah.
No, there's beach bunnies all the way.
That's great. See, I relate to your mom on so many levels then. Yeah, it's definitely hard. See, I came from the beach. I lived in Southern California. So then moving here to Nashville, moving away from the beach, there are days where I'm like, I just want to go back. But, I moved here for work. This is where, it's easier to catch up with all of the artists and do all of these interviews for the fans and have these conversations. And, that, like I said, this industry can be really brutal at times as well, but it's so much fun and you get to meet so many amazing people. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I'm sure you wouldn't either. I'm sure that
Where in California were you?
Huntington Beach.
Oh my God. See, I moved to Huntington Beach in 1969.
Did you really?
Well, we were surfers because Florida, the East Coast had a really strong surf scene over by Cocoa Beach. And we were all like, pot smoking hippie surfers, and going to California was a rite of passage. So we all loaded our crap up in the van and we drove out and got an apartment in Huntington Beach, and we used to surf the pier and go down up to Huntington Cliffs and all over. And yeah, it was great. I mean, think about the late 60s in Huntington Beach. David Nuuva was huge, and I don't know, Corky Carroll was making boards, and I had a guitar, and I don't know, I had never seen yogurt before I got to California. I feel like just an amazing part of my life. And then I wound up coming back out there as a rock star, and that was exciting. And
so awesome.
Dreams, dreams. Seeing it, wanting it, and going after it and getting it.
I love that. And I love how you just said that. And I got to ask, while you were in California, did you enjoy the Mexican food?
OMG. Yeah. The Tex-Mex stuff is a little darker. The California stuff is a little more burrito driven. And yeah, absolutely. The Mexican food out there, and even Polo Loco is like,
do they not have the best chicken?
No doubt. And where do you get that? California.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so now every time I go back home, I'm going to be thinking about you, and I'll probably be snapping pictures of El Pollo Loco, because everybody talks about In-N-Out, and I'm like, no, it's El Pollo Loco for me, for sure.
Hey, listen, In-N-Out's a good burger, but Pollo Loco, caramba.
Oh, so good. See, now I relate to you with food. I relate to your mom with the beach.
Oh my God, I am a work of art in the kitchen. I just love it, and it's. My son is like that. We're just big fat food faces, and we love it.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Well, I'm Mediterranean mostly in all of my concepts. I love Spanish food. I love Italian food. I love French food. I think growing up in Tampa, the Cuban community was huge there. So there's a cookbook from a famous restaurant in Tampa called Las Novedades. I have her cookbook. I have Julia Child's cookbook. I even have Paul Prudhomme's, Bible of Cajun cooking, which is another thing that I just love. So I don't cook Mexican food because I don't know how.
Oh, I do. I can do that.
Yeah, like authentic. And see, the thing about Mexican food is people think it's, a beef burrito from Taco Bell. They don't know about menudo and just all the cool parts and layers to that cuisine. It's really quite, there's a community in Nashville that you're probably hip to over on Nolensville Road. And it's pretty snazzy. If you don't know about it,
Oh,
go down to Nolensville Road
okay.
and look for the brightest colored painted restaurant on the strip there and pull on in, and you're going to get some good deals.
All right. I'm going to have to do that, and I'll take some pictures and I'll tag you, because
Absolute.
that sounds like fun. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, I know I could talk to you forever, for hours, because you're so much fun. And I know you have a crazy schedule, and I don't want to keep you too long. Is there anything else you want to tell fans before we go? Like where they can find you and what you have coming up?
Well, not because it's the most recent release, but the new Blackhawk record is an absolute gem. It is such a beautiful record. I would really encourage you to go find a copy of Blue Highway. It's just a gorgeous record. Our Christmas record is just wonderful, and my dream is to try and create a Christmas program to where we could go out and sing those classic Christmas carols and do it acoustically with some of our, repertoire from the radio-driven Blackhawk success. And
Yeah.
that's kind of on the radar for Dave and I. And the new Blackhawk record again is just yummy. And
It really is. I've been playing it on I have to say it quietly, on my Alexa. I've been playing it on her nonstop. Right. It's just so good.
Right.
So
yeah, we have one of her in our kitchen.
See?
Yeah. And everybody's always hollering at it.
Yeah.
I'm always absolutely astounded. I still can't believe all of what's going on around here.
Yeah, it's great. It's incredible. This world has changed so much since the 90s, and it's kind of funny to watch people like my parents trying to navigate through everything that's going on today. Right. All the different social media platforms that there are and the different ways to get music. My family, they don't understand it all. I mean,
they're cassette players and it even goes back further than that. When I was a child, they had 45s, and people used to go around to parties and bring these big spindles with all these 45 records on, and you carry your collection to the party to have it say and what got played, and they'd stack up on the record changer and they go slap, they play it, flop, then flop. No, it's a different world, but it's a good one.
I still utilize my record player, and all of our parties that we do here, we put vinyl on. We love vinyl. Nothing sounds the same.
Rich.
It is. And my husband is so into music and so many people. And so, yeah, we have a huge collection here.
Well, listen, I'm going to see you on the beach, and thanks.
We're going to have some Mexican food.
I'll see you down on Nolensville Road. You know where Krispy Kreme is? You know where Harding and Nolensville?
Yes.
It's south of Harding. It gets really interesting for Mexican food. Okay.
Well, I am definitely going to hit that up, because I love some good Mexican food, and lately I've had to make it myself. So,
and out of this world.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody at home. Please go get Blue Highway, the new album. Please just tune in, share this with your friends, and until next time, everybody, we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.